first one of the month, we're gonna give you a 2-for-1 special. So to start it off, I'm giving you Rocky Johnson. Yes, that sounds familiar to you. And I'm giving you Junkyard Dog, which I would hope also sounds familiar. So sit back, relax, get ready, you know?
Guys, this is Santino Marella, and you're listening to Wrestling Behind the Curtain. You already know what it is.
The year was good. It's your boy Kenzo the Great. It's February. We're back with why you should be watching. We're gonna do a little different because it's Black History Month, so we're gonna give a little Black History spin. So it's not exactly why you should be watching. I'm not gonna give you guys too many matches per se. I'm gonna give you 2 background checks on some wrestling pioneers. I've done something like this similarly, but I usually give matches. This time I'm not gonna give too many matches. Just gonna talk about like some little biography, kind of get you guys a little interested, and you guys go ahead for yourself and find a little bit more for yourself. And maybe in the next why you should be watching, I'll do a little bit more matches. Because it's the first one of the month, we're gonna try to do these weekly. First one of the month, we're gonna give you a 2-for-1 special. So to start it off, I'm giving you Rocky Johnson. Yes, that sounds familiar to you. And I'm giving you Junkyard Dog, which I would hope also sounds familiar. So sit back, relax, get ready, you know? So these 2 dudes, they came across they were out around the same time, but they weren't necessarily too much of the same path, let's say. And they're very different ways of going about it. Now, we're gonna start with Rocky Johnson. And I'm sure you name sounds kind of familiar because that's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's father. He was known as Soul Man at one point. He is pretty famous and very influential, not just because he's the Rock dad. So let's get into it. Rocky Johnson was a former boxer, and he's trained for sports entertainment in the mid-60s, right? The person he trained under was the High Chief Peter Maivia, who would later become his father-in-law. Peter Maivia, obviously, is very legendary. He's part of the Samoan wrestling dynasty, which is how The Rock is part of that dynasty, if you didn't know. So, Rocky debuted in 1966, and he was, all around the world because, that's how wrestling was back in the day. He was mostly in NWA at one point in the 70s, right? So, after some time over there in NWA, we're going to get to the, stuff that I know the most about, obviously, the WWE stuff. And around, I believe it was 1983, Rocky Johnson gets in a partnership with Tony Atlas, and together they defeat the Wild Samoans, who are also, related to Rocky Johnson through marriage. And they became the first African-American World Tag Team Championship. So that's the first bit of influencing our guy Rocky did. He was first African-American World Tag Team Champion. And then, yes, the other big influential thing he did was, in 1972, he had a son, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. You know him, and that's how you know him. And he was a larger-than-life character, The Rock, right? So from one larger-than-life character, kind of, the father, son, to this other much larger-than-life character in the Junkyard Dog. If you don't know about Junkyard Dog, I really don't know. I'll tell you, again, these are around the same time. I don't have exact dates because this is not one of those videos. This is us paying homage to a great Junkyard Dog. Was around the WWE, obviously. And the biggest thing about the Junkyard Dog was he had that giant chain go around his neck. But what was his origin story? So apparently, if you didn't know, Junkyard Dog was actually a stellar college football athlete. So he was 2-time All-American and got I don't know if it was drafted or signed undrafted, but Packers picked him up. But due to injuries and surgeries and such, he couldn't actually stick with football. So then he transitioned over to the world of sports entertainment, wrestling, all that good stuff, And again, this is the time in the past, those territories. And he did spend some time in Stampede Wrestling, which, if you don't know, that's Stu Hart, the Dungeon, and all that. That's where a lot of good wrestlers come from up there in Calgary and Canada. So he spent some time up there before he settled with the Cowboy, Bill Watts, in Mid-South Wrestling. Mid-South Wrestling. And that's where he became the Junkyard Dog, because he had a whole bunch of other gimmicks before that. I didn't give you guys Junkyard Dog's real name, did I? That's hilarious. So Sylvester Ritter is his real name, in case you didn't know. And at one point before that, he was going as, what was it? It was here somewhere. Big Man Ritter. So Big Man Ritter encounters the cowboy Bill Watts, and then that's when he becomes a junkyard dog. Uh, Obviously, back then when you're becoming a baby face, you get the shit kicked out of you a lot. And junkyard dog, part of it was he would bring a cart with junk in it, so that was all part of the gimmick. And people started to fall in love with it because he's wearing a giant chain around his neck. Sometimes he's acting like a dog. He's barking. He's 300 pounds. He's kicking ass once the booking starts letting him. So funny thing is, toward the ends of his career, Junkyard Dog, like a lot of wrestlers, he did his own wrestling theme, which was "Grab Them Cakes" by Junkyard Dog. So yeah, unforgettable because the way he entered the ring, he would grab obviously, but before that he was Another One Bites the Dust. Yes, so he's one of those big, larger than life characters, like I said earlier, because his gimmick was just out there. Because this is the 70s and 80s. That's what you had to do to get over, and he was really good at it. One of the first dudes. So again, welcome to Black History Month. Welcome back to why you should be watching. That's why you should check out Junkyard Dog and Rocky Johnson, because one is not just The Rock's father, and the other one isn't just some. Oh, he's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. His actually, sad tale about Junkyard Dog actually was, he was wrestling up until basically, I think, a month before he died, which was, a tragic car accident in 1998, coming back from his daughter's graduation. So yeah, I did a little research this time. This is not the longest video. Give you a 2-for-1 special though to make up for it. Next time we're gonna get into more. We're gonna get into some the Ron Simmons next. We're gonna get into some more matches and what he was more known for. Make sure you check in, you tune that out. If you're new here, make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you're not new, welcome back. And okay, you're not new. So I didn't give you straight shot no shots. This time I brought you all the smoke. If you know, you know.